Well, it was nice when it lasted, but we are back to normality. Manchester United have gone to the mighty Hull and lost 2-0. I'm joined in the studio tonight to dissect this masterpiece of football. And in his rightful place tonight, we have Madman Martial in the corner. Camera's over there, by the way. And we've also got the geniuses in the house. He's been relegated over to Genius Corner tonight. He's not too happy. But listen, I don't care because I'm not happy about what I saw yesterday. We're recording this on Sunday the 23rd. Good news is, let's start on a positive. We are no longer in the relegation zone, thanks to the results in the other Premier League games today. But listen, if we could play songs in this show and not get done for copyright, then I would definitely have that song, Deja Vu. Is it Beyonce? Deja Vu song. And because
So it goes Aaron in.
just go again. Gags, kick us off there. What are your thoughts on yesterday?
Fuck, I kick you off. I tell you something, United didn't kick off. Holy crap, what a terrible performance. And gotta say, I did call it. Didn't expect us to win. I expected us to lose, and we lost. But do you know something? We didn't just lose. We were pathetic. That was a pathetic performance by United. First game of the season. It's an absolute disgrace. Every single one of those away fans should get their money back. They should get their travel returned. Those players should be ashamed of themselves. First day of the season, lethargic, pathetic performance. We're going to get into it. And Michael Carrick, very uninspiring. I think he made the right subs, but just uninspiring on the touchline. Uninspiring. And this is what we give out. We give out to Almer about. Whenever Ruben was our manager, his decorum on the sideline started to piss me off. And yesterday as well, Michael Carrick, there was just nothing there. Him and his coaching staff, there's absolutely nothing. Absolute shambles of a first game. Shambles. And shame on them.
Genius. What do you think?
Well, you can't really disagree with any of that there. But yeah, I mean, like I know I did predict us to win, but that was only because I wanted to have a bit of optimism heading into the season. But clearly, the players didn't deserve my optimism. Because yeah, I had this feeling this was going to happen, and of course it did happen. Hull were up for it, and they wanted a lot more. You can't take it away from them. They were brilliant, but that's no excuse for us to let ourselves get bullied by a team who came sixth in the championship last season. It's really not on. Like Ollie McBurney was schooling us with his skills and all, which again shouldn't be on. I'm just lost for words really. On paper, that Hull side is one of the worst I've ever seen in the Premier League, and they've got 9 players injured. Let's not forget too. So it's not even their full squad; it's a makeshift squad with loads of injuries there too. So the fact that ourselves have bullied, we bossed, and the scenes towards the away fans, like all the trains cancelled, the Malta Tigers chance, it's just humiliating for them too, and it's a humiliation ritual for United fans that might have been a United fan. But you know what, you talk about Carrick and uninspiring, and honestly, I said this from the second he was hired as full-time manager, it's not going to work out. And even if we go on to the next few matches, get a few wins, start to pick up a bit of form, it's going to come looping back around. It's not going to work out. It's as simple as that. I'd be very surprised if he lasts the rest of the season, and even if he does, I'd be very surprised if we're anywhere close to European spots, honestly, as well. This is going to be a bad season, and we'll get more into it. But yeah, especially with Michael Carrick and not impressed whatsoever, and already losing faith in him. And in terms of the players, it's just the same crap from them. It's the same ones who pop up every time as well, losing faith in everyone.
Yeah. Well, it's I think that the Luke Shaw interview that I saw this morning was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Did you see that interview that he gave?
Yes, and the Michael Carrick interviews as well. They were all very positive, weren't they? They were still saying we're not going to let this team define us. We're still in the right direction. But my question is, what direction are we heading in? I said it in my own match reaction. The only direction I see us going in after that performance is Stockport County away in the Championship next season. And yeah, I did see another clip from Michael Carrick. And he was asked, did the players lack passion in the first half? And he called it an embarrassing question from the journalist. Honestly, seeing Carrick's demeanour and seeing how I find him uninspiring, and I don't think he's going to work out. And this is going to sound reactionary, but I cut ties now. I get rid of him now because I don't want his legacy to be tarnished further at United because of a bad managerial stint. It's not going to work out. As simple as that. He's not got the CV. We can't give him one of the biggest jobs in world football based off a few months of good results. And the performances in that, like, we only had a handful of good performances out of there. We got a lot of luck on our side last season too, with a lot of them wins. It was a brain dead decision. I don't think he's the man. I said at the time, after this game, this is an unforgiving result too. And again, if we do improve after this, it'll all come crashing down eventually again. And I just can't see him guide us anywhere this season. So honestly, like, we may as well advertise now. Go find a proper manager with the CV, which is United standard at the bare minimum, like, and he can get us. You know, he knows what he's doing. He knows the signings we need to make too. And I think Carrick as well, his lack of urgency for his signings as well has also really annoyed me too.
Well,
So
there's a lot there. There's a lot there, right? Listen, what I'm going to say about Luke Shaw, the biggest concern for me was Luke Shaw's comments about he said that they weren't prepared. They weren't prepared. Like, I mean, this is the elite sports.
I'd also seen Michael Carrick. It said that he'd mentioned in one of his that the yesterday's match was never going to be perfect, but like, you know, that's meant to be his job. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Elite sports is all about preparation. And, you know, I can't understand how a senior player like Luke Shaw can come out and say, you know, as a team, as individuals, we weren't prepared. I mean, that's such a damning thing to say about your coaches. Like, if I was one of his coaches now, I would feel like he's thrown me under the bus. Just be honest with you, because, you know, for him to come out and just say that, I mean, it's ridiculous, but it is a fear that we had. We sat here, the other day talking about this game, and I'm kind of embarrassed because, like, I was optimistic. I said 3-0 and stuff because I keep thinking that we're a big club. I keep thinking that we are Manchester United, but we're not acting like Manchester United. And you know, I'm looking at the stats here. You know, 72% possession, but you know, and the amount of passes. Like, what is it? Hold on 1 second. Let me see here. 669 passes in that game, 200 against 257. There's an image that I'm going to stick up, which was on BT Sport, and it showed the amount of crosses that we had. There was loads of crosses. I think there was something like 30 odd crosses into the box, right?
There was 23 shots too. But the thing is, even with all those stats, which would indicate we should have scored a few goals here, and that's when it's not like we had good chances. Even with those stats, we never really scored at all here.
No, we didn't. And you know, I agree with you in that we didn't look like we were. That's why I was really surprised when I saw that. But the biggest thing and the most damning thing is, you know, when it comes to duels won, and, you know, the running and how we were outrun, out-sprinted, out-competed by a hungrier team. And
I saw a stat from just the games from Saturday. So just was there many games? Was there 5? So it must have included the Arsenal game Friday night. So there's 12 teams in it, and it was comparing the level of pressing minutes. You know, the effort of pressing up, and United were bottom. So there was no press, right? And that means there's no effort. Okay, that's worrying. Coming back to Luke Shaw, what I will say is this. I think that's a real punk-ass thing for Luke Shaw to have come out and said. Because you know something? He's a professional footballer, right? The fuck's he hiding behind? The coach didn't fucking prepare us. He's a professional footballer.
He didn't say the coach didn't prepare. He said we weren't prepared. Which essentially is the same thing.
Weren't prepared for set play.
Weren't prepared for the start of the Premier League season.
No, he's saying we weren't prepared for the strengths that Hull possessed, which is crossing from the wings and set plays. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to know to defend a free, defend a cross.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? He's a professional footballer. Just do your job.
Do your job.
Yeah, do your job. But you know, so they go, oh, we're not prepared. Bullshit.
Yeah.
You prepare yourself. You cross that line. You're a footballer. You're playing for Man United. Stop being a wee punk ass and just actually play football.
Yeah, and his whole body language in the interview, so like his whole body language is all like, you know, he's got his hands crossed like this here, and he's just like, you know, well, you know, just, And it's just like, what's going on here? Like, seriously, like, why were you not ready for this here? You weren't at the World Cup.
I'll be honest with you, right? And I said it to you, we were watching the game. I thought I was gonna. I know this is crazy, right? And it's probably crap. It's probably bullshit, right? But this is what I thought. I'm surprised. I was listening to other aggregators and YouTube, and nobody mentioned his performance, but they didn't mention anything. I say, I watched that performance yesterday from Bruno,
Mm.
Yes.
and that is not the Bruno that I have seen in years, right? I looked at that performance and I thought to myself, he's leaving.
No.
I have never seen a more withdrawn performance from our captain. There was no effort. There was no passion. There was something completely missing.
He's just tired.
Tired.
Yeah.
What from?
World Cup.
Bollocks. He had about a 3 or 4 week holiday.
I know, but I would.
No,
but here's the thing: if he's not ready to play, he shouldn't play. You know,
sir, nobody was right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Tielemans, Santos.
Mm.
They were absolutely terrible.
I think that in terms of the midfield trio, that's the worst midfield trio performance I've ever seen in my life from any United midfield. Like when you're talking about 3 players in midfield, like Bruno looked disinterested. Like I was even saying, like even in the big thrashings we've had over the years, you'd at least see Bruno, you know, try get on someone's face, raise someone up, you know, get a booking, you know, that shows that he's still trying, you know, and he'll still be pushing, you know, being emotional on the pitch, but he's just emotionless. Yesterday, and as far as Santos and Tielemans goes, like I think it's the 2 worst debuts I've ever seen from Man United there as well. Like Andres Santos, we spent 50 million on him. He just looks like another Fred, and he wears number 17 and all too.
Yeah,
he's literally a carbon copy of Fred. It's unbelievable how 8 years later we've fallen for the same trap.
And Fred cost us 55 million.
Exactly. It's exact carbon copy. And Yuri Tielemans, like, you know, he's playing in a more defensive role. He doesn't have the legs for it. And if he doesn't have the legs for it, he shouldn't be playing there. And I don't know, like, you needed a proper defensive midfielder in there, so Tielemans doesn't have to do too much defensive work. But even then, you know, like, Tielemans doesn't have the legs. He's not going to be a starter for us this season. He'll only be good for maybe 30 minutes off the bench, which again is quite worrying.
Hold on a second, like, what is his strength? What is his, like?
He's more of a technical midfielder, creator, you know, just sort of. He's not really defensive, but
You're saying he has no legs, but if he's playing center defensive midfield, is that not a role that he should be? You don't need as much legs to play.
Look, I think Beneba will be more of our walker when he's fit and he comes in. It's only the first game. I think Tielemans is a good player. I just think the whole thing looks starstruck. It's not quite the term. They looked like Robin in headlights.
Yeah. They just looked like they weren't prepared. And there was an interview with the Hull owner before the game on the side of the pitch, and he was talking. I thought it was really interesting. It was a wee bit concerned what he said actually, because he said he was talking about the players that were going to play at that game, and he said that the 8 of them. He said, like, we've a lot of players coming in, not here. He says, I think 8 of the starters today are the Warriors that got us promoted.
Ooh.
And when he said that, I was like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? Because that's what they won with. They won with heart. They won with desire. They won with, like, trying to win the ball, win their battles, you know? And is it Roman Carney? Like, she was right. She spoke right yesterday after the game. She was like, you know, no United players won their battles across the whole game.
No.
And that's
the only players that I would say I would give any sort of credence to was Le Mans. I thought Le Mans was fantastic.
Yeah.
I think if it wasn't for him, we'd probably would have lost 4-5 now. I thought he was fantastic. Oxford probably wasn't the worst.
I thought listen.
I'm not going to praise him, but
I'll call a spade a spade.
He got 6 out of 10 from it.
He was direct. He came on and he was direct. Now, I don't like him. I don't like that he's there. Yeah. But I'm not going to lie. He came on and he gives something. He created a couple of chances for Sesko. You know, again, if we were a bit more clinical there, we would put that away. Maybe Sesko's not fit. Again, that comes back to preparation. But no, like I thought Rashford was a lot better than Dorgu. Like, you know, and him and Shaw was better with Rashford than he was as well in the first half, getting forward.
Still wasn't good enough, but
Yeah.
That's sort of, you know,
But it did remain me, like, oh, we've gone back in time.
Yeah.
exactly.
We're
That's
back
what I
like
was
4
thinking.
years ago or
So I
something.
was thinking these players are just too relenting players which should be moved on.
Yeah.
Like, and Luke Shaw, I mean, listen, that performance was pathetic. 13 years. Like, how on earth is a player like Luke Shaw survived 13 years at United? I'm sorry. He's out of contract this summer, so there's no hope of us. We're stuck with him for one more year. Like, it sounds like, well, it wouldn't be like us to give him another new contract, of course. But yeah, no, yeah, he's been here for too long.
I thought Kanye was anonymous and Bruno was poor.
The whole team, like, I mean,
They're just poor.
you know.
Yeah, apart from a couple of players, the rest. Chelsea, wouldn't say anything about them. He was a young kid. It was glad to see him coming on. Again, I thought it was the right sub, but there was just nothing there. There was nothing.
Well, I
Extremely worrying.
recorded a video at half time and I said that I wanted to see Carrick. It needed change. It needed to, you know, I said, like, we need a change here. We need to, don't wait till the 60th minute. Something has to happen. He did that. He made the change at half time. I was happy to see that. I think, but there's just something not right. I don't know. I honestly, I don't.
I'll tell you something now. I know. I don't know if we're going to be doing predictions. I'm not confident about being at home to Ipswich.
I was watching Ipswich last night in Match of the Day to see,
They won't,
you know,
yeah.
what are they like? Because I was just like, I tell you what, like, I mean, you know,
We're not great.
And let me tell you now, we're going to have to see Luke Shaw, Mark Maeda. And if you watch Celtic, he's going to turn it.
they actually did look dangerous on the break. They looked like they had a lot of speed on the break.
So worry.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I think that's.
It all comes back to.
I don't know.
It all comes.
Shit.
It all comes back to the recruitment, though. And again, I think Carrick is part to blame for the lack of recruitment, because a proper manager would have been able to identify, we need quite a few midfielders, we need a fullback, we need something extra up top. But he was coming out during pre-season, you were saying it too, like, he's happy with the squad, he thinks the squad's ready, you know, like, and where's the urgency?
He's handcuffed by the board, but he's not a manager that's going to focalise his displeasure. No, he did make a comment after the Dublin game where he said, yeah, we're always looking more. That's about as harsh as he'll get about the board. That's the problem. I think he does want more, and I'm sure he's actually had input and said this is who I want. It's like the board are just completely stingy.
But you know what, though? You know what? The board doesn't prepare the team. And that team, we saw it in pre-season, and for whatever reason, that team didn't look ready. We said it last Thursday when we recorded. Didn't look ready. They weren't ready. That's not the board. That's actually, and it's not just Carrick either. It's his team. You know, it's Steve Holland. It's, you know, Woodgate. These guys, that's their job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if they're coming out and they're saying, you know, oh, it was all right, we did all right. You know, yeah, the stats may say that, but I mean, at the end of the day, the stats don't matter. It's about who wants to win the ball and who wants to put the ball in the net.
But when you look at the games today, right? There was Man City losing to Bournemouth, right, at home, and you're kind of thinking, happy days, City are going to lose now.
Mm-hmm.
Turn it around, get all 3 points.
Yep.
Likewise, Liverpool
Yep.
losing to Newcastle. We're like, at least Liverpool are losing points for losing all three, and they get a last kick of the game penalty.
Yeah.
So, where was our fight back? There was no fight back.
Yeah, because at least those teams have a bit of character about them, bit of, you know, passion, a bit of desire as well, which is something Carrick seems to think we had yesterday, which again, continues to make me lose so much faith for him. Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, I think that's all we can say about that game yesterday. So, listen, we'll come back later in the week and we'll review what's happening. But I don't think there's much more we can say, I guess. I mean, it was just really, really poor, and I think
it's yet another wake up call to the board. It's a wake up call to the board that we need more signings. But this happens every year. And then we end up panic buying. And they pay over the odds because it's panic ban and the season's already started, so we've already, we don't learn.
Yeah.
Get our business in early and get sorted for pre-season.
At least back then we would panic buy. This current board wouldn't panic buy. They'd rather just have an incomplete squad than have fringe players who maybe aren't too good in, but not at least show that they're addressing the problem fully.
Do you realise how poor we were there against Hull, right? That's the first game of the season. We're in the Champions League this year. We're going to be playing 2 games a week.
And we're only playing
like, what?
PSG.
Yeah.
If Luke Shaw can't defend against Bellumi from Hull, what's he going to do against Ousmane Dembele or Vinicius Jr.? Or even next week, Dyson maybe.
Yeah.
So,
Well, at least we have that to look forward to, I don't know. Listen, the cynic in me this morning when I heard that the Belieber deal was done, I was like, was that all planned out? It was like, just, I don't know, spin. It just, it's disgusting. But listen, guys, I don't even want to talk anymore about that game. It's done. What's done is done. And let's just see what happens now as we go forward. But listen, we'll call it a day there on that. And let's look forward to next week.
well, yeah, we'll try. We'll look forward to the Champions League draw on Friday.
Thursday.
Is it Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Friday.
It's Thursday.
Forward to the Champions League draw.
All right. Well, listen, that's us out today. So disappointing start to the season, but things can only get better. Maybe. Right. We'll have a video out later in the week to get us ready for the next game. Have a good rest of the weekend, everybody.
Yeah, and United need to get back to the drawing board. I hope those players are back in training today. I'm sure they weren't, but they should be brought back in. No rest. Let's get going. Let's get serious.
All right. Let's go.
Let's go, United.